Welcome back to the program. The security situation right now in Iran is getting really, really bad. There is now well over 12,000 being reported as killed by the regime. I'm hearing upwards of 16 to 17,000. A lot of what we're hearing from Iran are never accurate numbers. So at first, they were leaking that it was about 1,500 to 2,000. Then it went up to 2,500 to 3,000. But there are people inside Iran that don't have internet but are using Starlink thanks to Elon Musk. And they are getting messages out to people. And in those messages, they're saying that the numbers are larger than 12,000 and possibly 15 to 17,000. So I know President Trump has said help is on the way. And my goodness, I hope that help comes quickly because the regime is murdering these people that are standing up for their freedom. And it's happening at a very, very fast pace. Trump tells Iranians that help is on the way as protest deaths surge past 12,000. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that he has canceled all meetings with Iranian officials amid the brutal crackdown on protesters, telling Iranians, quote, help is on the way and to keep protesting and fighting. At least 12,000 people, if not more, were killed over 2 nights on January 8th and 9th during these protests. Iran International's editorial board concluded based on a review of sources and medical data. Several European countries, including the Netherlands, Spain, and Finland, have summoned Iran's ambassadors to protest the crackdown on these protesters. Exiled Prince Reza Pahlavi said that he was in direct contact with the Trump administration, calling it a potential game changer for Iran and the region. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran is open to fair negotiations, but that it was also fully prepared for war. Well, President Trump's not talking to the Iranians anymore, okay? They want to make a deal. There is no deal to make because you don't negotiate with terrorists, especially people that are killing their own people. U.S. President Donald Trump said that he has imposed a 25% tariff on any country that continues to do business with Iran, saying that the measure took effect immediately. Israeli Security Forum chairman predicts Iranian government will fall. Amir Avivi, chairman of the Israel Defense and Security Forum, IDSF, said the Iranian government is facing imminent collapse, predicting major regional changes and suggesting a large-scale U.S.-led military action could occur in the very near future. So that tells me that they are coordinating with Israel, as they did when they took out the nuclear program. Today, I can say something we couldn't have said even a month ago, and that is that this regime is going down, he said. There will be no Iranian regime, and this is going to change entirely the future of Israel, Avivi said in a news event with the Jerusalem Post on Tuesday. He followed, and indeed, I think that we'll see in the very near future a massive American attack with the help of Israel and with the demonstrators. I think this regime stands absolutely no chance, and they will fall, he added. And then it says, exiled Prince Pahlavi says casualties are mounting in Iran, urges support and urgency to do something to save the folks. Exiled Iranian Prince Reza Pahlavi said on Tuesday that the death toll from unrest in Iran has surged in recent days and called on the international community, including the United States, to provide meaningful support to protesters facing what he described as deadly force from authorities. The sad news is that we have had more casualties in just the last 2 days, 4 times the number of people who were dead as a result of the 9/11 terrorist attack, he said. Well, what we got so far is at least plus 12,000. It may be well over that, he said. But that's the minimum number that we know have been killed, Pahlavi told Fox News and Brett Baer. We are talking about using military weapons, AK-47s, armored trucks to shoot to kill unarmed protesters. Their bodies are being picked up by bulldozers, he added. Asked if he supports any military action, the prince said, "This is all about saving lives and not about aggressive interference." When civilians are being murdered and massacred in a war waged against them by their own government, some additional help is needed. I'm not talking about aggression. I'm talking about helping a nation liberate itself. Trump joins Iran meeting after returning from Detroit. President Donald Trump joined a meeting on Iran on Tuesday in the evening after returning from Detroit, according to reports from journalist Barak Ravid. After he returned from Detroit earlier this evening, President Trump joined the Iran meeting that was chaired by Vice President J.D. Vance and attended by his top national security team. Trump was briefed on the situation in Iran, according to a source with knowledge of the matter, posted on X. Senator says U.S. stands with the Iranian people. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz and President Donald Trump have made it clear that the United States supports the Iranian people amid this ongoing unrest in their country. President Donald Trump has made it clear that America has the back of the Iranian people. Republican Senator of Texas posted on X, "I am proud to stand with the heroes in Iran who don't want an Islamic dictatorship oppressing them anymore." U.S. will not tolerate massacres in Iran, State Department says. The U.S. Department said it will not tolerate violence against protesters in Iran, responding to any inquiry from the Washington Free Beacon about the ongoing arrests. Iranian top Sunni cleric condemns killing of protesters. Iran's top Sunni cleric, Malavi Abdul Hamid, on Tuesday condemned the violent killing of protesters in cities across the country, warning that those who gave such orders would be held accountable. The massacre of thousands of protesters in Tehran and other cities of our country over the last few days has been horrific and unprecedented. This bitter event has plunged the Iranian nation into grief and rage and has deeply wounded the conscience of free people around the world, he posted. Undoubtedly, those who ordered and carried out those crimes will be held accountable in this world and in the hereafter, and they will also deserve divine punishment. Trump handed document upon entering Oval Office. News Nation White House correspondent Kelly Meyer posted a photo showing President Trump being handed a document as he entered the Oval Office. You can see the president was handed something and began reading it as soon as he got back into the Oval Office, Meyer wrote. World is now responding, exiled prince tells Iran protesters. Excuse me. Iranian exiled Prince Reza Pahlavi, in his latest video message on Tuesday, called on Iranian protesters to continue their fight against the Islamic Republic despite the brutal crackdown, vowing that help is on the way. And of course, President Trump said the same thing, basically saying to continue to fight and help is on the way. So when that help is, I don't know, but Iran cannot afford to have another 15 or 20,000 people being murdered. So I just hope and pray that President Trump is in the final stages of whatever it is that he's planning on doing. Who knows? Maybe they'll be using those pulse weapons, from inside. Maybe they'll fly in on, planes that can't be detected or whatever. They'll go into the palace and they'll go in there with those weapons and just wipe out all of the mullahs and the clerics and the Ayatollah and everybody. I don't know. But it better happen soon because, reports are 16, 17,000, maybe even reaching 20,000 by the time you see this. So continue to pray for these folks because they're fighting 66 years of this. They have been tortured. They have been abused. They have been controlled. They have been, murdered. I mean, it's just horrific regime. And hopefully it's on its way out, God willing. That's all I can say. And I hope that it happens. In the meantime, this is hurting China in a big way. The Chinese are definitely having a lot of issues. I'll actually get to that because I want to break that down because you know how much I love China, right? Yeah. How much I hate China. And so I want to kind of go in and explain how this, and as this regime falls, how it's really going to be detrimental to the Chinese Communist Party. But during all of this and everything that's going on, and why this regime is falling, is because now the Iran currency has completely collapsed. Completely collapsed. It's literally worth nothing. Okay? It's worth absolutely nothing. The crisis for the Islamic Iranian regime just got worse as the country's currency has completely collapsed. It is virtually worthless. The Iranian rial, rial maybe, I'm not sure, has effectively collapsed, plummeting to an unprecedented low of more than 1.47 million per US dollar on unofficial markets as of this week. The currency crash has triggered a wave of nationwide revolutionary protests as the cost of basic survival spirals out of reach for millions of Iranians. On Monday, January 12th, 2026, the dollar was quoted as high as 1.47 million rials in the free market of Tehran, marking a catastrophic decline from 2025 levels. For comparison, the rial traded at roughly 70 to the dollar during the 1979 revolution. It has now lost approximately 20,000 times its value over the last 4 decades, according to the Economic Times. This is a fatal crisis for the regime trying to hold on to power. And then it goes to talk about Iran's currency collapse is the final non-kinetic phase of transition before irreversible regime fragmentation. This is an extinction level internal systems failure, is what they're saying. Then it says, the currency has entered full reflexive death spiral. Domestic trust is zero. International convertibility is zero. Sovereign backing capacity is zero. 2. Structural implications. All imports halt immediately. Fuel, food, medicine. Black market becomes the only functioning economy right now. The regime has lost complete and total control over pricing, payrolls, logistic, and of course loyalty. Command hierarchy is fractured now. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards cannot be paid in stable value. Police and bureaucrats have defected when currency loses purchasing power. Provincial governors begin improvising parallel governors and governance to survive. 4. Global signaling effect. This collapse removes all credibility from Iranian negotiating positions. Any attempt to stall U.S. action via talks now appears as a bluff or desperation. Allies like Russia or China will not intervene to save a dead currency. It greenlights kinetic action without risking major power backlash. Number 5, this was engineered. Sanctions were precision aimed at oil revenue and refined fuel choke points. Trump's 25% tariff order made reintegration into the global economy impossible. Swift capital exit, telecom shutdowns, and diplomatic isolation created a vacuum. The market just priced in the fall of a regime. Regime forecast. No currency equals no supply chain, which equals no governance, which equals no control. The currency didn't just collapse. The entire state of Iran has. So when your currency goes and you can't pay your people, and your people that are starving can't use the rial, the money, to buy goods, and it's not worth anything, the regime is pretty much over at that point. So what's going to happen next? I'm assuming some type of action from Israel and the United States, probably some type of, two-country, thing that's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be. Could just be just us. Could be maybe he's going to let them go in first. I don't know. But all I know is it certainly looks at this point is that finally, the people of Iran are going to be liberated. God bless them. And I just hope that it happens sooner rather than later so that more lives can be saved. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.